Hi everyone and welcome back to my third video. It's going to be a part 2 of the previous video, which is about e-commerce platforms. So we're going to discuss different options you have to use as an e-commerce platform for your new online store. There are basically 3 options here. Option 1 would essentially be you developing it yourself from scratch. Now this is only an option if you're a developer or know a developer or your partner is a developer or anyone that will work with you full time, if not yourself. Now the good thing about this is that your solution will be fully customizable. The bad thing is that it is fully customizable by yourself, so you won't be able to find any third-party extensions that are already made modules or themes, because since it's your own solution, you're the only one that has it in the entire world, and you will have to develop all this by yourself. At the end of the day, another disadvantage would be that you would be spending a lot of your time just developing this e-commerce platform instead of focusing on your online business. If you're a good developer, however, this might be a good option because you'll be able to fully customize it as I told you before, and you can do it. You can make it act exactly as you want. The disadvantages are that since it's only you that has the system, you won't be able to find any third-party extensions or modules or themes because you're the only one that has this platform in the entire world. So you would have to develop everything yourself. Another bad thing would be that you would probably be spending too much of your time developing the system instead of focusing on your business. So this all depends on how good your programming skills are. If you didn't completely understand all of my previous points, then you should probably not do this. You should skip this option altogether. Option 2 is however different. You could rent a platform, like for example Shopify. You pay a monthly subscription fee and you will be able to use all the functions that are provided in that plan. They usually have different plans like basic, advanced, pro, whatever, and depending on your needs, they have different setups that you can use in different subscription plans. So you just contact the provider and speak to them about it. The advantage is that you don't have to code anything yourself. Advantage 2 would be that if you run into problems, you can probably just Google them and you will find someone else with the exact same problem and the solution online. You don't even have to hire anyone for this. Advantage 3 is that it's basically just plug and play. So you can just sign up, pay the subscription fee and start executing your business plan right away. You can just add products and start selling. Another advantage is that you will be able to find themes, modules and extensions, and you don't have to do this part yourself either. You can just go on and start doing your business, adding products and start executing your plan. Shipping and payment plans will also be included in the different subscription plans, so you don't have to focus on this part either and just focus more on your business. A disadvantage would be that the code is not owned by yourself, so you can't change the code or alter it in any way. You're fully dependent on the e-commerce platform provider, so you will basically have to wait all the time for all the updates to be released by the e-commerce platform provider. So it does come at a cost. Option 3 is actually what I use myself, open source. I'm going to mention some advantages that they all have in common. An open source platform has code that means you can touch and alter it exactly the way you want. It's fully owned by yourself once downloaded, and it's basically like a CMS, like a content management system, which means that you will be able to change the text and some banners here and there without having to code yourself. It's basically an easier way for you to handle your website. You will not be needing any programming skills, and you can find lots of guides online for everything that you need to do. The famous open source platforms, they have large communities, which means that you can find all the resources available online, and such as extensions, modules, themes, guides, etc. Open source platforms have huge communities with a lot of existing modules, extensions and themes. They've been bug tested for years by thousands of users, so you don't have to worry about all the small bugs appearing here and there. They're fully tested solutions. This is also not a good thing. You pay no monthly fees whatsoever. You only pay for your own hosting. It's good scalability, and you don't have to pay more per user. Like for example, some e-commerce platforms that you rent, you have to pay per user. So if you're like 10 users, you have to pay 10 fees for that. Now that we've gone over the main advantages that the open source platforms have together, let's go over the different options you have here as open source providers. Alright, so the first e-commerce platform I'm going to mention for open source is Magento. It has 1/4 of the market share and is one of the most widely used e-commerce platforms ever because of its scalability and huge community. Advantages for Magento is that it has lots of extensions. It's a huge community, so you will find third-party plugins and themes easily on the web. and you'll be able to Google all the problems you have, and there will almost always be a solution for it online, so you don't have to hire developers for that kind of stuff. It's easy to grow in, so you can have, if you have 5 products and after 1 year you have 10,000 products, this is not a problem at all for Magento. And the functionality in Magento is huge. You'll be able to do basically anything you want to do in Magento, for a cost however. The search engine optimization is good out of the box in Magento, and there's a lot of plugins that can make it better. So let's go into the disadvantages and maybe even for you deal breakers. It's very resource extensive, which means that it would require expensive hosting. My recommendation would be that you don't even look at Magento unless your turnover is $1 million. My second option would be Virtuemart. Now this is the e-commerce platform that I used, so I might be biased, but I really love Virtuemart and it was a great platform to work with. However, as we grew larger, we needed to change the platform, and instead of upgrading to Virtuemart 2 from 1, we chose Magento because of the huge scalability and all the functionalities that Magento has. Advantages of Virtuemart is that it's responsive from start. It has a lot of themes and a huge community, so you'll be able to find everything online. It's very cheap overall, and it's not resource extensive at all. It's simple to use and it's very user friendly for beginners. It's easy to customize and you don't have to have previous knowledge of programming or development. It has good SEO, also known as search engine optimization, out of the box. Disadvantages would be that Virtuemart is basically just an extension to Joomla. Joomla, on the other hand, is a CMS, a content management system, as you spoke about before. So it's not a full e-commerce solution. However, you can use it as a full e-commerce solution. I've not encountered any problems with it. So it's not really a disadvantage, but it's worth mentioning. So the third one I'm going to mention is Opencart. This one is also responsive from start, which means they will work on all mobile devices. It's very simple to use, and the coding is supposed to be very simple in Opencart. Now, it's even easier than Virtuemart if you want to go in and change something yourself. Disadvantages would be that it has a smaller community than the previous mentioned ones. And with that said, I think we should skip to the next one. Open source solution number 4 would be Woocommerce. You've probably already heard of this. Woocommerce is a plugin that you install in WordPress in order to change your WordPress site to an e-commerce platform. An advantage would be that it's a plugin for WordPress, and WordPress is like one of the best CMS systems out there. I use WordPress for 80% of my websites and I love working with it. It's so simple. As an e-commerce solution, however, I would use Virtuemart and Opencart and Magento over Woocommerce. Woocommerce is simple to use and it has lots of extensions, themes, and plugins online that you can download. The community is huge, so you'll be able to Google all the problems you have. It's the same as Opencart and Virtuemart and Magento, really. Disadvantage here will be the same as Virtuemart. It's not a full-on store, but it's even a little worse here because it's not so user-friendly. And I also noticed that when I added products or changed categories or added categories, it wasn't as simple as it was in my other systems as Opencart, Virtuemart, and Magento. It felt like it was little shortcuts and quick fixes instead of good solutions. Overall, I would say it's definitely worth looking at, but I would choose one of the previous ones. That's my opinion, however. Now, my recommendation is that if you have no skills whatsoever of web hosting or anything, I would go for a rented solution like Shopify or something similar. If you're like a tech guy or you know how to reset your router and that kind of stuff, then I would definitely choose an open source platform. That would be my recommendation to you. It would be easy for you to grow with it. It's got great scalability and you own the code yourself and you're able to do whatever you want with it. Of course for a cost, by hiring a developer, a programmer, or just learning to do it yourself. However, remember that we don't want to focus too long or too much on the technology aspect of your business, so have that in mind. If you have lots of products and categories from start or plan to do this within the first year, I definitely recommend Magento. If you are going to have a medium-sized store for the first year, I would recommend Virtuemart, Prestashop, or Opencart. For a smaller store with few products, I recommend Woocommerce. Now, there's probably tons of people that are going to be upset about me saying that, but that's my opinion, and I've used all the platforms, and from what I've learned, Woocommerce is better for a small store with fewer products. If you have any questions, feel free to ask me below in the comment section, and I will reply to them as soon as possible. If you've seen this video, please watch my first video so you know exactly what my YouTube channel will be about, and new video coming up this week or next. Alright, so good luck with choosing your e-commerce platform. Hopefully this video helped you a bit, and if you have any questions, feel free to ask me below in the comment section and I will reply as soon as possible. Alright, take care guys, bye.